Hi, welcome to Smokie Eats. My name is Angela.
And my name is Amelie.
And today we'll be trying 3 different types of noodle dishes from 3 different price points.
So let's get started.
The first noodle dish that we'll be trying today is Mee Fei. We got this from the Ranch 99 food court, priced at $5.65.
Mee Fei noodles are a type of thin rice vermicelli commonly seen in Chinese cuisine.
These noodles are often stir-fried with vegetables and meat.
Mee Fei originated from China, but it is used in many Asian cuisines. It doesn't look to be much.
Visually,
it looks like mainly just noodle. There's not much vegetable. I don't really see vegetables in general. I mainly just see cabbage and carrots, but very few. It stays true to its color. It's bland, kind of dry.
Very dry.
But
it's kind of
you
hard
can see
too.
The oil shining on it.
Yeah, it's the texture is not very good. It's not dry, enjoyable. But at the same time oily.
It's like my skin. Oh. I feel like this is the sort of dish that, like, if it was like 4 a.m. and you're just starving, this is what I would probably end up with, right? Like, you know, it's the middle of the night. This is a middle of the night kind of dish.
That's true. I think, yeah, like Amelie mentioned, usually stir-fried vermicelli or Mee Fei, there's a lot of like vegetables and meat in it, but in this noodle there really isn't much. You have to dig for a long time to find like a single piece of carrot.
It's like mining for carrots.
Yeah, exactly. If you were to describe this noodle in one sentence or even one word, what would you describe it as?
Subpar.
Okay, there we have it.
The next dish we have is
Bumble Hue
from Amazing Basil, priced at $14.50.
Bumble Hue, otherwise known as bumbo, is a Vietnamese rice noodle dish with beef originated from Hue, the former capital of Vietnam.
One of the most noticeable differences between Bumble Hue and pho, another popular Vietnamese dish, is that the broth in Bumble Hue has a significant lemongrass flavor. So now we'll be trying the Bumble Hue from Amazing Basil. I already like it a lot more. It's so much more colorful.
Yeah, it's very visually appealing.
Purple cabbage. And they have vegetables.
Okay, so right off the bat, it's very flavorful.
Yeah, a lot more flavorful than the Mee Fei earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say that the noodles are kind of soggy. I don't know if that's just me. They're kind of soft, but like not in a chewy sense. They're just kind of soggy. Soup is very flavorful though. Wow.
There's a lot of components to this. I'm pretty sure there's like 3 to 4 types of meat in here.
Yeah. There's tripe.
This is,
I think, a beef.
Is tripe beef aorta?
I just know it as tripe.
Alright, this is probably beef aorta.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what that is.
Or beef tendon. And then there's also Vietnamese sausage in here. And basil leaf, of course.
I want to try the soup by itself. Oh, I see the lemongrass. The lemongrass,
what does lemongrass taste
so
like?
There. It is very present.
Very present.
It's a lot more sour than I thought it would be. The soup is a little spicy. I like that. It's not too spicy, but like a little.
Yeah, I like how it's spicy enough to like flavor the components such as the beef that is not as naturally flavorful, but it's also not overly spicy.
Yeah.
I do think it's slightly on the saltier side, at least compared to the last one, but still not overly salty.
Yeah. I think I'd rather have like overly salted
That's
food
true.
than like
sodium.
Too much or like not enough salt, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say, the noodles is very wrappable, if that makes sense. Like, I always like to wrap my noodles.
It's easier to grab them,
yeah.
You know? I think with the Mee Fei, it was a lot harder to grab.
Yeah, it was like you had to like tug on it.
Yeah.
If you were to describe this in one word, what would you say?
Colorful, both in taste and just appearance-wise.
Personally, I would say powerful. It has like a very, very strong and present flavor. I don't know if it's just like in comparison to the last one, but
yeah,
like the second I tasted it, even like without the soup, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, we'll be reviewing linguine caciucco from Giorgio's Italian, priced at $24.
Linguine is a type of Italian pasta that is between spaghetti and fettuccine in terms of shape and width.
It's made from durum wheat and semolina, and this type of pasta is often paired with seafood, including clams, calamari, shrimp, and more. So now we'll be trying this Italian pasta.
Personally, I'm a very big fan of Italian pasta in general. You? Do you have a preference?
I don't eat out much, but I do like pasta. I don't really particularly like seafood, but we'll see how.
Typically, I'm not that big on seafood because I look at them and I'm just like, wow, an ocean bug.
No, I used to have so many goldfish and they all died. So now every single time I see a fish, like I'm extremely traumatized. And like, I don't know, just like something about the way they just lay there with like their beady eyes. Like you're literally looking at a corpse. Like,
oh yeah,
it's just, I'm traumatized.
It's okay. Now we're gonna eat seafood.
Or at least
the seafood's part of it smells a lot stronger than the actual taste of it. It doesn't, personally, I don't think the seafood is affecting the taste of the pasta too much. But you can definitely smell the seafood. I think it's not as flavorful as the Bumble Hue.
Yeah.
But I think it's like at that good spot of not too salty, but there's still flavor there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say, personally, I feel like it just tastes like a pasta. Like the seafood doesn't really add much like nuance or flavor to the pasta as much as I thought it would be.
It's like they had the pasta ready and then they just kind of threw in
like a melody of seafood. Yeah.
Seafood that they had, so it doesn't feel like it's actually doing much. It's there, but it's not really together.
I think what is very interesting though, like usually when you order from Italian pasta restaurants, if you like order seafood pastas, it's usually like in the Alfredo sauce. It's not really like not usual that it's like in the tomato sauce, but
yeah, but it's still pretty good.
Calamari ring looks pretty interesting though.
But honestly, the fish is not really here in this pasta, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right? It's there, but the taste itself is not really changing much.
That's true.
It makes me question, what was the point of adding the fish if it doesn't change the flavor of anything?
Okay. So the fish and the calamari does not taste like anything. The clam, I don't think it tastes like anything either. I would say the only flavorful like seafood portion at least is the shrimp.
And it just kind of makes me question, because sometimes you don't need to put something into a dish. It feels like they're just putting things in for the sake of putting it in, and not, oh, I want to make this more flavorful by adding this certain type of seafood, you know?
Yeah, but I definitely think the texture of the noodle, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's not too soft, not too hard, well boiled, easily wrappable.
If you had to pick a word to describe this pasta, what would you say about it?
I'd probably say it's unique in the way that it's, you know, non-traditional. Seafood pasta is usually with Alfredo sauce. I don't know. I guess unique or peculiar, not in a good or bad way. What about you?
I'm still thinking about how some parts of the dish seem a little unnecessary, but could just be me.
Okay, so now we're going to be delivering our final verdicts on 2 categories. The first is which one is our favorite overall, and the second is which one we think is most worth the money that we paid for.
All right, let's pick our favorites. 3, 2, 1, Bumble Hue.
Yes.
I think by far, appearance-wise, it was definitely by far the best. It was very colorful. There was purple cabbage, they had basil, there was jalapeno, lime, and of course the very colorful broth. I think my only issue with this dish was that the noodles were on the softer side when I feel like they could be a little chewier.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's very visually appealing. I really liked the spicy flavor. I also liked how there was like a hint of sourness from the lemongrass. My only critique is I thought it was a little bit on the salty side, but like Amelie said before, I'd rather have it like salty than too bland. So overall, I think it's a great, you know, melody of ingredients put together. I think everything complements each other really well. Like the soup is a little over salty, but it makes up for the fact that the meat is like less salty, and I just think it blends in together, comes together very well.
All right, and now, drumroll please, we pick which one was the most worth it. 3, 2, 1.
Bumble Hue.
Really? I think it was the linguine.
Oh, you explain first.
To be honest, this dish is very big considering its price. This entire thing was $24 as compared to the Bumble Hue, which was a lot smaller, for about $14. I think given its price, it's a lot more food. So I think that's one of like the main reasons why I'm saying that's a lot more worth it. It's not my favorite, but I can see why it would be worthwhile to order this dish. It's a good dish. I just think some parts were a little unnecessary in terms of the seafood add-ons.
Yeah, personally for me, the reason why I didn't pick it as the most worth it is, for me, like the metrics which I'm judging off of is like what is the most worth it in like terms of ingredients. I know like this is a really big portion, but I feel like obviously seafood is kind of expensive, and I'm not really sure about like the exact quality that they used of seafood, but I would say like especially the noodles, they were kind of like very generic. I feel like there wasn't really anything special, but they were noodles, but like I felt like the fish was a little dry, everything was a little bland, even though the portion size was relatively large. Like Amelie said before, I feel like they just like made the noodles and then added on everything else. So I feel like it's like a bandage over a gunshot wound, even though it is a large portion. I just didn't feel like it was worth the $24 that accompanied like this dish with the kind of, you know, generic noodles and like a bunch of seafood that I don't really know where it came from. So the reason why I picked
Bumble Hue.
Yes, Bumble Hue is I think there was a lot of components to it, right?
There's a lot of variety in ingredients. With the meat, there's tripe, there was tendon.
Beef aorta, tendon, mysterious meats, like Vietnamese sausage. There's actually 2 kinds. I just think it's very, a lot of variety, a lot of color. I think the noodles were like the best consistency out of the 3, and it was like $16, and it's still a relatively large portion, I would say. They also gave like extra like lime and basil. I just feel like, I don't know, personally, if I eat like kind of fancy food, I'm like buying an experience rather than like the actual food. So I feel like this experience was worth the money, especially considering it was $16. So it was like in the middle range, and I just felt like everything about it, like the color, the flavor, each component added and the extra condiments just seal the deal for me. So I definitely say this is the most worth it for me and also my favorite.
So I think that actually wraps up our, oh, well, feel bad for the Mee Fei. Nobody's favorite, unfortunately, on our end. Still, kudos to them. It was okay, but I think there's a lot of things that could be improved on, ingredient-wise and flavor-wise, but honorary mention.
Honorary mention, you know?
Yeah.
It's
so
first to last. So it's still second, I mean, it's
first place winner for last week.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I know, like, the Ranch 99 food court, they make a lot of, like, different foods in one.
Yeah.
So, I guess it makes sense, but as much as we would love, you know,
a little anarchy in our little food ranking system, unfortunately, Mee Fei has not made it.
Yeah, we would love an underdog story, but this underdog is
not enough.
Yeah, sadly.
So I think that just about wraps up our Smokie Eats.
Yeah. So thank you for watching our video, and we hope
you have a nice day.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.